Hello, my millions of followers. It's time to learn about the Japanese slang term sabayomi. Or maybe it's not a slang term, maybe it's just a phrase, but at one point it was new, and it was new to me when I saw it in the subtitles for Full Metal Jacket, so let's talk about it. Now, this phrase literally means counting mackerel. And in the sabayomi form, has been around for at least 70 years. I can find clear examples from the 1990s, as in this book you're looking at here, and Google Trends does produce hits going back to 1960, although it's just excerpts. However, if you turn this phrase around and say sabayomu, or read the mackerel, I can find hits on Google Books going back to the early 1900s, and dictionaries, for instance, note uses going back to the 1700s. But why are Japanese people counting mackerel? What does this mean? Well, simply put, this is a term that refers to fudging the numbers, usually in a way that benefits you. This can just be from laziness, or it can be intentional, but either way, you either increase or decrease a number to benefit you in some way, with the prototypical use of sabayomi or sabaoyomu being to say that you are younger than you are. But again, that kind of tricky intentionality doesn't have to be part of it. This person just has a clicker that jumps from 49 to 150, and they call that sabayomi. The clicker obviously has no intent. Here, though, you can see a use which has a bit more of a potential changing the numbers for scam implication, as the person notes that they don't believe the height figures for the various members of AKB48, calling it all sabayomi. And indeed, the first two on the left don't look the same height to me. And then in other cases, though, the intention is unclear. Like this person uses the term when discussing their 3rd anniversary, and are they reading mackerel here because it's been more than 3 years, or less than 3 years, or just kind of close to 3 years? But they said, why not? Let's just celebrate it. I don't really know. Just to finish off this list of examples, here's a really clear and cute one where somebody posted this little acrylic being posted next to a ruler to check its height. And then somebody made fan art, I guess, of that image, noting how it looks like the character is standing on their tiptoes in order to sabayomi their height. In other words, fake that they are higher than they are. So contextually then, when you are doing sabayomi, you are not actually reading anything. You are not reading a false number. You are the one who is messing with the numbers, again, be it due to laziness, sloppiness, or intentional deception for your own benefit. Why is macro reading related to fudging the numbers? Well, because this term is so old, the answer is basically we don't know, but there are a number of prominent theories. The most common one, and the one that I guess I personally do think is the most believable, is that mackerel are a fish that go bad very, very quickly. So the idea is both the fishermen and the salespeople would count them really, really fast in a way that wasn't that concerned with accuracy, or even just eyeball it, because they wanted to get the fish to market and then to sales ASAP. Other people just suggest that mackerel fishermen are liars, I guess, if it just to sum up what they're saying. So same origin story, but giving a bit less credit to the morality of the fishermen and the salespeople. And then some people have noted like a similar phrase going back to the Kamakura era, which uses sabayomi to refer to counting 2 things at one, like 2 mackerel skewers as one thing. Or for instance, Wikipedia notes, and you should note there are no citations in this paragraph whatsoever, possibilities such as mackerel just being shipped really quickly, so the actual arrival time was faster than the estimated one. Or potentially a link to a homophonous word, I guess literally translates as raw rice, but refers to rice that is given as like an offering to like demons, ghosts, or even just birds and animals. This seems unlikely, and again, not cited, but being thorough. I mean, if we're just making stuff up, why not just say like, fishermen are known for exaggerating things? That works just as well, right? But of course, because this term is so old, there's no way to be absolutely sure what the origin is. So if you think someone in Japan is not being honest about the numbers, I guess feel free to ask them if they're reading mackerel. I've done it thousands of times.